What if the life that you're trying to create, what if it already exists? What if the future, your future, isn't something that you have to build, but something that you remember? So many of us spend our time trying to figure things out, fix things, force things forward, especially in our work and our businesses. But what if there's another way where we begin to see it, feel it, and live from it before it ever shows up in our physical reality? Today I'm sitting down with my friend Jill Rubenacker, who helps people do exactly that. Access their vision and hold it as if it's already done. And this conversation isn't just about your life. It changes how you show up in your business, your decisions, and your work, the work that you're here to do. If this resonates with you, I've created something for you called Package Your Purpose. It's a free guide to help you begin turning what you feel called to do into something real and structured in your life and business. I've linked it below. I'll also link Jill's Vision School below so that you can explore her work as well. So let's dive in. I'm excited to get started. Hi, I'm Andrea Arena from the Energetic Ad Lab, and I'm here today with Jill Rubenacker from the Vision School. Hi, Jill. How are you today? Tell me a little bit about the Vision School.
Hi, Andrea. I am fantastic. And I created the Vision School because I firmly believe that we need tools and techniques to lock in um, the feeling of the wish fulfilled and the identity of the person that you desire to become.
I love that. I love that. That's a lot about what I was talking about this week in my own energetic ad lab school
Yes.
for from purpose to profit. So we were talking about remembering forward and what that technique does and how it works for personal life and business. Can you tell me how you use it in the Vision School?
Yes, it's actually part of my second week of the Vision School, and I instruct our members to remember when, or remembering forward, right? When you have a vision and you think you know what that feels like, but sometimes we're thinking of it outside of ourselves. And so remembering forward helps you remember that this is a memory. Just like when you think of a past memory, it's the same thing, right? The forward is still a memory. And so all you have to do is play it out like as if it's a memory. So what I do is have them maybe 2 or 3 weeks out from when their vision's complete or fulfilled, right? And then
Mhm.
remember how it used to be where they might be right now, right? Like us right
Mhm.
now are here, but we would be seeing maybe we're at a beautiful retreat and remembering the first time we got together on your energetic ad lab.
I love that. So basically, you're saying that in the remembering, it's a future. We're remembering a future that hasn't happened yet, but we're putting ourselves in the future that we really desire to be living. Am I correct in that?
Correct. Yes, correct. So what would that be like if you're the person who has your dreams and your desires and you're sitting back and you are thinking about, wow, I remember that day that I started my business, or I was really scared how I was going to pay the bills, and it all just worked out so magically. Like I don't even understand how it really happened.
Yeah. I know that you and I have played this game
Yes,
over the
we have
years many, many times.
many
Uh,
times.
the most, the most obvious one and probably our most famous one was our
Uh-huh.
Tesla story. You want to
Yeah.
tell the story of how we remembered our Teslas? It was a night that we had gone out as the people that we were becoming, right? As
Yes.
if we
Yes.
already were. So it was part of
Right.
a really beautiful game that we were playing.
Yes, we would go out. I mean, I guess now it's been, oh my, like 8 years, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
okay. Go and we would, get dressed up like we were the women we wanted to become, and any dream or desire, we would remind each other that it all had came true, and we would look back and remember when we were remembering forward then. So we had went out, I think, to dinner, and we had both said that we had gotten Teslas and what we were driving. I was wanting an S, and you were wanting an X, and we played like we owned them, and we owned our own energetic businesses, and what our lives would look like, and we kind of went out like we hadn't seen each other in
Yeah.
years. Yeah, and we were telling each other like, "Oh my gosh, I have a Tesla. Well, I do too." And we had played this game all night, and, you know, we usually try to go somewhere where no one knows us or would argue against it, right? So you
Yeah.
could really get into the feeling of what this felt like. We were doing immersive retreats before they were cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
and so then, uh, I'll let you take over. Then what happened? Probably maybe 5 years later or 4?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even
Or
know if
maybe
it
even
was that.
3.
I was gonna say it was only just a few years, if I remember correctly,
Right.
because a lot happened. You know, that first meeting that we had when we were remembering forward and we were meeting our future selves, were meeting each other as our
Mhm.
future selves, very much like you do in the vision school, correct?
Yes,
Where
yes.
you're going in and you're only staying in the vision of who you are wanting to become,
Become.
right?
Yes,
So
yes.
we had been playing this game where we met as that person, the person,
Mhm.
that stepped forward in the future. And
Absolutely.
that whole night we remember when we didn't drive Teslas? Remember when we still lived in small town Illinois? Remember when we didn't have beautiful, supportive, loving relationships?
Mhm.
So we were remembering forward.
Yes.
We were in the place of, we were already standing in the future that hadn't happened as if it had happened. And that
Absolutely.
is the beauty of it. And so then it was a couple of years later, we
Mhm.
were walking out of a coffee shop in a larger town. Both of our lives had drastically changed. And there they were, sitting there
Right.
in the parking garage, both Teslas charging,
Charging.
and we stopped. We were just, oh my gosh, this had happened, right?
Mhm.
Everything had lined up, and everything that we had remembered forward
Yes.
had actually come to play, right? We were
Yes.
more abundant, we were free, we were independent. We had all of these, we were peaceful,
Yes.
right? We
Yes.
were having fun, enjoy, and we were in beautiful relationships that were very fulfilling. So everything that we had remembered forward
Forward. Mhm.
into, we had brought into our lives.
Right.
Why do you think that that works so well?
Well, I am a firm believer in quantum physics, and that, um, it's already done, and you just get to choose what you want to, happen, or you get to choose what you desire to live or to accomplish, right? Uh,
Right.
And every second we're making a choice, and there's a version of that choice that you just have to step into. You don't have to create it, you just have to step into it. It's already done, but you have to make that choice. And the more you choose it over maybe your outside circumstances at this moment, like we were making a very conscious choice that we drove these cars, we had this life, and we surrounded ourselves in the environment as if it was already done. And so that's what I do focus on in the vision school, is getting us in that state that it's already done, more than you're looking at your outside circumstances, because we don't you stay in those circumstances because that's what you're seeing and that's what
Yeah.
you're thinking about and you're doing all day long. So you need tools to move you forward, right? So you can
You really do.
remember forward. Right, right. So when it moves you forward, you're you're in that state more than you're in your reality is your past, which you've already thought about, right? So you
Yeah.
want to remember forward and stay in that state. So that's what you become.
I do feel like most people, most people that I meet tend to be living a very reactionary life, a life that is constantly being bombarded by negativity and bad news. And so as a result, right, we're always in this reactive state.
State. Yes.
And I think that the tool of remembering forward is a beautiful way to take you out of the reactive state,
Hmm.
right? So
Yes.
that you can put yourself in a place of peace,
Hmm.
right? So whatever disturbance is happening in your life, doesn't matter what it is, you can remember that oh yeah, you can put yourself in the future and you can look
Hmm.
back and you can say, oh yeah, it's okay. I made it through.
Right.
And it's better than I could have ever thought. Even though at the time I couldn't see it, how I
Hmm.
was going to get through it. I made it.
Right.
And here I am. And what is it that you're feeling in that future state, right? That's what we're
Right.
looking for, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I do think it is so much of the feeling because when you're in that reaction state, you are having a very deep visceral feeling with inside your body, right? And
Right.
and that is energy. And that's our source of our energy is that emotion, which is beautiful if we're using it for what we want to create, not what we don't want. And I think so much of that reaction has been taught to us, right? That we react and then you've got all this energy behind this maybe not so positive reaction and you create more and more and more of that because you're sending the signal I want it, and you get mad
Yeah.
or you're angering in traffic and you're yelling at the person, well then five other people are like pulling out in front of you, it's because you sent all that beautiful energy for the five other people to come on in and jump in front of you, right? So all we're
Yeah.
doing is taking all that beautiful energy into the sigh of relief and that everything works out, right? And so if you can stay in that emotion, that's what you're projecting forward, right? And that's how it will unfold just seamlessly and miraculously. And eventually, and that's why I built the school so that way you could stay in that state longer and longer and longer until it's just your natural state of being that you
Right.
see less and less of the reaction because you don't want to waste your energy on that. You want to be joy and happy and loving and right, you know.
Because you have the choice. And
Yeah.
I think that's exactly right. So if you were to tell our listeners who are maybe are not in a great spot right now, maybe really struggling with a problem or a circumstance or a relationship or a money situation,
Yeah.
how could somebody use this tool to get them out of that place?
Okay. So I would definitely tell them that they have the choice. You might not believe you have the choice, but just bear with me for a minute. If you put your hand on your heart and you take a big deep breath and you just sink right into that heart space and
Yeah.
you just see yourself, it's all taken care of. No matter what the
Release.
circumstances is, you're a week past it resolving, right? And you can just breathe. Immediately you feel that sigh of relief and you get
Yeah.
relief. So if it's that quick, you can be in that vision right now. You can live that life right now. And that's the point. It's always here right now, and it is your choice. And the more you choose it over the latter, you're going to get it. It's guaranteed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that the message that I'm hearing from you, the biggest takeaway that I would take away from this is that we are always creating our reality,
Yes.
always, right? It's
Always.
just, it's whether or not we're making the conscious choice
Right. Yes.
as to what we're choosing, right? Because when something bad happens, say you get an unexpected bill in the mail and you
Mhm.
open it and you have that immediate visceral reaction, your stomach tightens and your
Mhm.
shoulders go up and your breathing gets shallow and your thoughts then start to spiral. Well,
Right.
how am I going to pay this? And how
Yes.
is this going to get done? And how is this going to work out for me? At what point would you tell somebody who's in this sort of reaction
Right.
to to bring
Stop.
themselves back?
Right. And you do have to almost say stop. We've done that too. Stop, 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 or you know, delete, delete, delete. Uh,
Yeah.
just any kind of noticing it, of course, is the first step, right? Because as soon as you make and you're aware of it, you're on the right path, right? Because you're
Yeah.
switching in that moment, and you're teaching your nervous system, you're teaching yourself how to stop and redirect, right? So that's when, as soon as you feel the body's response, and I really do think it has to do a lot with our body. Our body gives us
Mhm.
the first indication that this is not going the way you want it to, right?
Yeah.
When you start the first deep breath, like, "Oh, no," right? That should be, "Oh, no, that's right. It's taken care of. It's all gonna work out. I don't need to know how. I have to see it working out." And then you drop into your
Yeah.
heart and you breathe and you see it a better way and you stop the train before it starts, right? And the more you stop, the less you'll have the response, and there'll be checks in the mail to you, not that you have to pay, right? Because you put the
Yeah.
energy that it was taken care of, that it was done, instead of the energy that it wasn't.
Because you get more of what you focus on, what you
Absolutely.
place your attention and focus on,
Yes.
where your energy goes, right?
Right. It will
Yeah.
create. Yes. And that's
Bec
what will form. Yeah. And it's all
yes.
about that energy and focusing on that and the feeling of the place you want to be more than the place you don't want to be. And you do have a choice. It's just that so many times we aren't consciously making that choice to veer where we want to go instead of sliding off the road. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see it all the time in both business and personal. I see it in
Yes.
myself all the time. It's
Well,
one of
yeah.
my favorite tools. It really is one of my favorite tools, and I'm so glad we're here talking about it today because it is a powerful tool. Um, in my series, the Beyond Extraordinary series, that is one of the things because what we want and what we want for anybody listening to this is
Yes.
for everyone to live a life that is beyond extraordinary. And this
Absolutely.
is one of those powerful tools that it costs you nothing to
Right.
do. It just is your simple awareness and your
Mhm.
attention to what's happening and the reaction that is being caused within you.
Yes. And
Yeah.
you get to make that choice immediately, and it's all up to you. It's not outside of yourself. And once you start really trusting that, wow, I can flip it just like that, and my whole world can change. And yes, you can live beyond extraordinary and just have amazing lives just with that quick, easy tool.
I love it. So, if you were going to have one takeaway you'd want people to take away today, that might be listening for living a life that is beyond extraordinary, what would you say that choice, what would that be?
For me, or just what they should choose, or what they
What should somebody take away if they wanted to live a life
live
that
life.
was beyond extraordinary? What would be your one piece of advice?
That they really get to choose, and they are always choosing. Always, always. And notice what you're choosing. Yeah,
Because with that choice is what they're creating. Am I under
absolutely.
yes.
Yes, yeah, because I do believe we're always creating, so it's your choice. What do you wanna create, right? And really become empowered that you get to make this choice. As easy as you get to choose not to live beyond, right?
Right, right. So, some of the tools that you are hearing about today, you can absolutely find in Jill Rubinacker's school, the Vision School, a place where you go and you live as if, just as we have always done together.
Mhm.
And we would love to see you in there. Both of
Yes,
us would, because we go in there to play and live as if, and we do live lives that are beyond extraordinary. And
yes,
we want everyone to live the same. That's
yes,
our
yes. That's
yeah,
our
that's our
mission.
hope
Yeah.
for everyone. That's our mission.
Exactly. Yeah,
We're here to get everybody living a life that's beyond extraordinary, because it's
definitely.
just fun and joyful. And when big things come along that really rock your world, they're not so big when you
Yeah,
don't see them as being so big.
exactly. And you have the right tools to calm yourself and know it's okay, and there's always a a better, beautiful way to look at it, right? Yeah.
And it's a beautiful community that you're creating, and I think
Ah,
it's
thank you.
really, really, really needed in this world, and I'm
Yeah.
so grateful to be a part of it, and I can't wait to create something really extraordinary. You wanna tell us what you're creating? What is it that you're creating? I'd
What
love to
I
know.
am creating, I am creating being a beautiful guide of this way of life, and being of service to others to help them live this wonderful life that they dream of. My wonderful life is sitting by a beautiful cliff top house in Maui is my beautiful life, teaching this and helping others, immerse them in anything that they dream of and desire, and really let them understand that they can have it. Yeah.
Do you believe that we can have it all?
I believe we can. I do believe that's why we're here, and it is up to us to make our heaven on earth, and that's why we are here. And that's part of the journey and the fun, and it can be fun. It can really
Yeah.
be fun, even when there's things that pop up that you don't always understand. They're part of the fun too, because getting past things and seeing them in a beautiful life is just an amazing way to live in this amazing world. And if you see it that way, that's all you'll ever be. And that's my goal.
It certainly changes your life experience, for
Yes, it does.
sure, for
Mhm.
sure. Well, thank you so much for
Uh,
joining me here
Thank
today.
you.
This is the first of many. I can't
Yeah.
wait. You watch for us. Hit that like and subscribe button. You can find Jill Rubinacker at the Vision School at school, and she will put her link below. And you can find me in the Energetic Ad Lab, where I am currently helping entrepreneurs take their purpose and make it into profit.
Yes.
So, and to all of us to live a life that is beyond extraordinary. So
Yes.
thank you all for joining us today, and we look forward to coming back for many, many more.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jill. Bye.
Bye.
If something in this conversation stayed with you, don't ignore that. That vision, that feeling, that's not something that you have to chase. It's something that you can begin to live from. If you're ready to take that next step, my Package Your Purpose guide will walk you through how to start turning that vision that you have into something tangible in your life and your work. You'll find the link for that below. And if you felt connected to Jill's work, I've also linked her Vision School so that you can go deeper with her. I'll see you in the next episode.